Hey, what's going on? It's either Gray or Zolrix here, whatever you want to call me by. I go by both names now. Both Zolrix, my new YouTube name, and my new name overall. But if you want to call me Gray still, that is completely fine. But what is up, everybody? Today, I am bringing you a much requested build. A lot of people have been wanting my DRAGONPLAR build, and so now I'm finally releasing it. I just put it together. I remade it after doing some PvE stuff and just having fun on my Dragonite again. But I eventually came back and made this build for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the build, and let's get right into it. So, starting out with the sets, we are running Maul of Essence Thief. Obviously, Essence Thief, it's just really strong. If you want to swap this out for something like Oak Fathers or pretty much any other set that increases your damage or gives you, obviously, a damaging set, such as Mechanical Acuity, Oak Fathers, Order's Wrath, pretty much whatever you want to run, you can run it here. It will work. I just found this to be a lot better because of the heal and the stamina sustain you get from it. And 10% damage is very strong, especially with some other sets that we're running. Combined with it, makes it extremely broken. So, Essence Thief is the front bar set. Back bar set, we are running Rally Cry. Yes, bread and butter set. You mainly just run this for the crit resistance, and you also get extra damage. Who doesn't want more damage? You know what I'm saying? Too good to have. Definitely run it. Now, I'll also go into some opposite things. Not really opposite, but like flexing things you can do with this build to make it even better than it is. I just prefer this playstyle because it's a bow and 2H, and I love that style of gameplay. Next, we have Roxas. Heavy, both head and shoulder, in pen. Then I'm running one trainee chest, obviously. Next, we have a Rallying Cry Sash. Then we have Essence Thief on the rest of the body. So hands, legs, feet, all in pen. The only thing we have is one reinforced chest. Next, we have Rally Cry Jewelry. I have one protective here. If you want, here's my suggestion. Go all three protective, and that'll make you dumb tanky and pretty much almost immortal with a build like this. It's super strong with healing and really good damage output, even with tri-protective. But if you even want more damage output, like say you're 2VXing, go with all infuse, and you're going to hit even harder. It's actually insane. You're going to drop like 20k leaps on people. It's disgusting. Obviously, running Monomyth, it's too good not to. It's 100% one of the most broken things in the game, mainly because you get minor vulnerability, as well as on your back bar, you get major protection and minor vitality. That is just overall the strongest thing in the game right now, is just the protection. That's 10% damage decrease that you take. So you just pretty much are a tank without being a tank. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, going into some of the flex things. If you don't want to run a bow, you can run Ice Staff or Sword and Board. And when we get to the skills, I'll show you some flex spots that you can use. But if you prefer not to use a bow like myself, you 100% can use an Ice Staff or Sword and Shield. This build works any which way you want. And then if you want to run dual wield as well for the Essence Thief, you 100% can. I currently do not have dual wield, so I run the 2H. Alright, let's get into the character stat sheet. So, we have 64 points in the stamina, being that this is an OG Stamina Dragonite build, kind of, with Templar mixed into it because of subclassing, so sick there. We are running the Lover Munda Stone. The reason we're running this is the penetration. Like, we don't need the critical, so obviously we went with something different because this is not a crit-based build using Mechanical Acuities or Order's Wrath, so we don't need that critical. So we went with more penetration, making us hit even harder. And then, yeah, we're running Smoked Bear Haunch Food, and if you want, you can be a stage 4 vampire, but if you don't want to be a vampire at all, you want to be a werewolf or nothing, then that is completely fine as well. I like being a stage 4 vamp just because it turns you into a Nightblade and you get a get out of jail free card. 100% worth it in my opinion. So if you want to do that, go for it. Not needed though. Alright, going into the skills. Here is where you have your flex spot. I run a Venom Arrow here. There are multiple skills you could run here. So going into that, we want to run Sword and Board, say. You can put Puncture here and then take Noxious Breath off for Venomous Claw, right? Now, if you obviously you don't want to run this, you don't have to. You can run a bow like myself. Two things I like to run. I like to run Venom Arrow because it's an interrupt, and it also has another dot that I use. Very strong. And then if you want, I haven't decided which one I like yet, but Acid Spray and Bombard are really good with this build. Bombard just allows you to get away from the Zerglings that are just constantly chasing you down and being aids. But Acid Spray is also really good damage. So it all depends on what you really want to use here. I prefer Bombard at the moment, but if you want to run Acid Spray, you can. Same thing with scatter shot. If you want to run scatter shot, you can. I haven't tested it too much, so I'm not putting it in the video. But if you want to try that, go for it. All right, so if you want to run an ice staff back bar, you can just put on weakness to elements and then get overall more damage on your front bar with venomous claw yet again. All right. Or if you want to put on just overall more output damage, you can put on Camo Hunter or something like that, right? Let's see, what else? All right, so those are the flex spots I would put in place of Venom Arrow as of now. Again, if you want to change this, 100% change this as your flex spot and you'll be totally chilling. All right, next we have Race Against Time. If you do not like Race Against Time and you think it's boring or something like that, and you want to be a pure Dragonite, put on Protective Plate. This right here is one of the coolest looking skills in the entire game, and it does the exact same thing as Race Against Time, almost. All right, so this gives you immunity to snares and immobilizations, and it takes any projectile or flying pretty much damage reduced by 50%. So if you're getting hit with heavy, Merciless Resolve from Nightblades, this will reduce it by 50%. If you have Magsorks out there hitting you with frags, 50% less damage. If you have people doing any weird stuff like that, 50% less damage. Very, very strong. Makes you an insane tank. The only reason I run Race Against Time is because it gives you Minor Force, giving you that extra crit damage by 10% if you get it off, which does feel nice from time to time. So that's why I run it. Next, we have Healing Soul with Healing class script on a Dragonite, giving you tankiness and tons of extra damage. Very strong, with Major Vitality at the very bottom. Now, that with Monomyth gives you Major and Minor Vitality, increase in healing up to like 15 extra percent or something like that. It's actually insane. But yet again, if you do not want to run that, you can 100% run Coagulating Blood, one of the strongest heals in the entire game. Absolutely will make you insane. 100% love this skill, gives you great tankiness. Don't need it though if you want to run Healing Soul. Healing Soul is obviously overall stronger as of right now in today's current meta. Next, we have Hardened Armor. It's the bread and butter, makes you a Dragonite look-alike pretty much, right? One of the coolest skills in my opinion, other than Hurricane. But everyone rocks Hurricane. I want to be different. Obviously, rock Hardened Armor. I think it looks cooler. Next, we have Resolving Vigor. Obviously, you get Minor Resolve, giving you more resistances, and it's your bread and butter hot, or your heal over time. Have to run it almost every single build. Next, we have Temporal Guard. Again, giving you minor protection. You take 15% less damage while on your bow bar. Or if you want to run Ice Staff or yet Sword and Board, you can be tankier on both of those as well. I prefer the movement speed with a bow, so I enjoy this. All right, getting into the front bar. Again, we have Binding Javelin. You can change this out, all right? If you want to change this out, this is another flex spot. You can put on Toppling Charge or any other form of stun here that you may or may not have, depending on your class. Like, if you want to run Chain Pull for some odd reason, you can run Chain Pull. It is entirely up to you and how you want to use your flex spots. So, but me personally, I prefer Binding Javelin. That's just up to me because people can't block it. It's too good. Next, we have Executioner. Obviously, you're going to need an Execute with a build like this just because you don't have Execute damage. So having Execute on here is insane. Now, if you want to use the dual wield version, or if you want to add dual wield into your build, just put on Spin to Win here. And I think an update 48 coming out here very soon, that is getting increased by 35%. So in my opinion, dual wield is going to be stronger in the next patch with this build. And this build will work next patch 100%. So don't even worry about it. Next, we have Cauterize. Cauterize is just an insane heal. Also gives you crit rating. 100% run this. This on top of your Vigor and your Healing Soul is actually insane. You are extremely tanky with this build. Next, you have Biting Jabs, the bread and butter. This is my favorite spammable in the entire game just because of the looks. I love the aesthetic of Biting Jabs. I miss the old jabs before they changed the animation of it. But hey, is what it is. This is what we got now. I love Biting Jabs. 100% one of my favorite spammables in the entire game. Next, you have a somewhat of a flex spot. So again, if you want to run Sword and Board or you want to run Ice Staff, I would swap Noxious Breath out for Venomous Claw. The reason I would do that is because you don't need the Fracture from Noxious Breath due to having it from another skill. So then you just put Venomous Claw here, and now you have an insane dot, and then on top of that, you just you still get the penetration from either having Puncture or Elemental Susceptibility instead of Venom Arrow. Okay, all right. Here's where a lot of people are gonna get a little angry. I prefer Crescent Sweep on this build just because of the very bottom of this. Enemies in your path will be hit 60% more damage. That, on top of Essence Thief and everything fully procced and buffed up, you are hitting like a truck with Crescent Sweep. And it costs 73 ultimate, so it's literally nothing. You're using it as a pretty much a spammable at this point, and it's actually insane. If you do not want to use this, you 100% can use Take Flight. Probably the coolest, 100% the coolest ultimate in all of Elder Scrolls Online, in my personal opinion. I think it's the coolest ultimate, but I prefer Crescent Sweep because, in my opinion, it is hitting harder as of right now. I still haven't done that much testing on it, but Crescent Sweep is, personally, in my opinion, better. If you want to run Take Flight, you 100% can. No issues. You're still going to be nuking people, all right? And then, again, if you want to swap out your front bar set instead of Essence, depending on what you swap for, Take Flight is going to be stronger, okay? So 100%, if that's what you want to do that. All right. Getting into the champion points, all right? Here's what everybody wants to know at all times, every single time for every build, because for some reason people think it changes. So for this build, I have Mastered Arms and Biting Aura, mainly just because I want my jabs to hit actually really hard, and then both my ultimates get procced by this as well. So very strong ultimate usage and spammable usage with both points in here. Next, I have Ironclad and Duelist Rebuff, probably the strongest defensive CPs you can have at the moment, other than like Resilience and Focus Mending. So if you want to put on Focus Mending, you feel like you're dying way too fast or too easily, swap out Biting Aura for Focus Mending, and then just Mastered Arms will carry your damage, I promise. I've tried it. It does work. If you feel like you're dying, put on 3 Protective and Focus Mending. You're going to feel immortal with whatever setup you want to use. If you feel like you're not dying at all and you want to go Infuse, go with double damage like I have here, you're going to hit insane. All right, going into the red tree, we have Survival Instincts, Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, and Boundless Vitality. If you feel like you do not need the health with Orzoga's, like I'm obviously at 31k, if you feel like you're fine at 30k, you can put in Celerity or even something else like Juggernaut. This right here, just if you get stunned, you take 5% less damage. That is now 20% less damage as soon as you get stunned. You're pretty much a walking tank without even having to hold block. So this right here is actually insane with a build like this because of Monomyth and one of the other skills, or Race Against Time, I think. No, Temporal Guard, my fault. So Juggernaut with Temporal Guard and Monomyth gives you 20% damage reduction in total just by sitting on your back bar after you get stunned. It is actually insane. So 100%. Or if you want to put on a CC potion, so a crowd control immunity pot, this will also proc it, giving you that uptime of 20% less damage taken on your back bar. And if you rock a sword and board and you block from time to time, you're pretty much never going to die. So if you guys have any questions about this build, please leave it in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this build video. If you guys, like I said, have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I will be making some more build videos here in the very near future. But without that, drop a like, subscribe, and if you haven't already, I messed that up, but we're going to roll with it. But, hey, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.